So hello and welcome back to Exploring Azeroth with Onyx and Beryl. This week we are going to venture into Shadowmoon Valley, a very interesting area full of all sorts of things that for a very long time I never did, and then I waited until I was way over level before I actually completed that zone because honestly, just aesthetically, it was not my thing, so I'm still learning things about Shadowmoon Valley to this day. But I figured we would start with the now sober again Onyx. She has had some good strong coffee, so she should be able to fly to Shadowmoon Valley without too much problems. No more pink elephants, which is always good. So, we're going to head to Shadowmoon Valley and see what we can find. Now, honestly, the very first thing I noticed when I was flying into Shadowmoon Valley, because I did some loops just trying to see if there was anything really cool. And I mean, there's all the typical questing areas. There's Legion Hold, which is, from what I understand, a very good place to farm Aldor reputation because you get a lot of the tokens to turn in. But what I found more interesting is up here above the Legion Hold, you have this little valley back here, Blackwind Valley. And in it, you have these absolutely beautiful saber cats, which, if you're looking for a very unique looking cat as a hunter for a hunter pet, they do make a really, really striking hunter pet. And they're not a rare and they're not an elite, which is kind of cool. So they're a fairly easy tame as long as you have a flying mount. Now, I did go all the way to the back of this cave just to see if maybe there was anything in it. There's not. There's just a interesting glowing bit of floor. I don't know if maybe there was something back in this area that has been removed since, WoW has moved on through the years. But it is full of these beautiful kitty cats that I do feel really bad about shooting, but I figured I would go down here one more time and just see if maybe there's a rare that spawns down here or something, but alas, no rares, just more saber kitty cats. Very pretty. I'll probably go ahead, in fact, you know what? Let's tame him. I think, oh, I have too many pets already. Well, fine. I guess I can't tame him today. I'll have to stable some of my pets and come back here, provided I actually remember that these guys are here. But they're all over in the mountains up above most of Shadowmoon Valley. So, like I said, if you were looking for a unique skin, don't worry, they respawn. I didn't get them all. But if you're looking for a hunter pet with a unique skin, this is a good place to do it. Also, it looks like a few other adventurers might have run afoul of the kitty cats. Not too far away from Legion Hold, we are going to the main Horde stronghold strong point. I can speak really well. And that is the Shadowmoon Village. Unfortunately, like so many other places, and I'm not really sure if it's just the Horde aesthetic or what, not really anything interesting in the buildings. The biggest thing is back in Burning Crusade, this was one of the spots that you could actually buy flying mounts. So you come here to this stable and you could get any of these wind riders, provided you had the gold and the level to do it. I also kind of really do like this giant skeleton that's here. I don't know what it's a skeleton of, and I don't think that I want to meet whatever it's a skeleton of, but it's there, I also have to appreciate the effigies that are just kind of hanging from the crossbar there. Now there's a ruined Skekthalon wreckage. And again, interesting aesthetic. All of these guys are spirits, but don't worry, they can hurt you if you happen to be at level. And I do like these absolutely creepy effigies that are all over. It kind of reminds me of Drustvar in BFA. Like, obviously this came first, but that's kind of what it reminds me of. I don't know. Let me know if you think it also reminds you of Drustvar. I kind of wonder if that's where they got the idea for the whole aesthetic of that zone. Now we also have Coilscar Point, which is where all of the naga and their elementals are. And I did not know until today, so I was today old, when I discovered there is a big old cave. And at the back of the big old cave here in Coilscar, you can find a druid who is being held captive at the very back of the cave. And from what I've read, she is an escort quest. It's supposedly a huge pain in the rear end escort quest, but thankfully she pretty much can solo it, so you just have to kind of hang out with her while she walks really slowly. Unfortunately, that is sort of a thing that escort quests back in the day were known for, is how long they took. But unlike a lot of the escort quests, she sells heals and can kind of hold her own, and eventually she even picks up a couple of elementals to help you fight, so that's kind of handy. We'll run to the back of the cave and check her out. Now, I did get lost in this cave like twice earlier, because it's a really big cave, and it's a very cool cave. And like I said, I don't know how I either never knew that this was here, or I just completely forgot that it was here. But, yeah, interesting. Especially interesting because I have the achievements for doing this zone, so I must have come this way, but darned if I can remember. Anyway, there she is. It is the Earthmender Wilda. She is a member of the Earthen Ring, and they have managed to capture her. She is in need of rescue. So, if you ever needed to know where she was located, now you know. Now I'm going to head back out of this cave, and we're going to zip around a little bit more. Now, directly ahead of us, just over top of the fell pits here, which, by the way, stay out of the fell pits. Well, stay out of the lava anyway. They will really hurt you. But it is a location where you can get a very cute little fell flame pet if you are into pets. But the Hand of Gul'dan here, which, if you remember Shadowmoon Valley from Warlords of Draenor, there's not a giant smoking volcano, and according to the Earthen Ring, Gul'dan himself actually raised this volcano when he severed the orc's tie to the elementals. Also, I read that if you are looking for fire motes, this is a really good place to farm them. Just, be sure if you are a pet class and you're doing this at level, even if you're not doing this at level, your pets can and will get killed by the fell lava, so just keep that in mind. Also heading this way, let's see what is up ahead. I do believe that this could be the Warden's Cage right ahead. Like I said, oh no, that's actually the Wildhammer Stronghold, and don't worry, Beryl will be the one that takes us there. Just below it, though, we have this interesting little more Skek'thalon base camp, and not too far away from that is another interesting little area that we're going to head to. So this is a really interesting area. There is a quest here, but this is the Altar of Damnation, where you can actually watch as Gul'dan, or a shade of Gul'dan, performs the ritual that severed the orcs from the elementals. So it's really interesting. If you have time and you've never come out here to watch, it's kind of interesting to watch. Now, nothing here can actually attack you. I do believe in the quest it can, but don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I've done it. But yeah, it's just a really interesting little area. I also kind of remember that there is a quest around here that just about made me absolutely insane crazy, and that was waiting for one specific ghost to come wandering by along this little road up here. It did eventually happen, but I do know I spent a lot of time on Wowhead just saying all of the bad words because I didn't think it was ever going to spawn. Alright, now let's head a little bit further because we still have a Black Temple to go to, and we do need to check out where the Aldor hang out. Now, this area that we are in right now is the Warden's Cage, which is a really cool little area, and when I came back here earlier with Beryl, unfortunately I picked it up, but I don't remember if Onyx can actually pick it up. But if you are looking for a music roll, if you actually have the jukebox set up in your Draenor garrison, there is a music roll that is the Black Temple music roll, and you can find it right here where I am circling with my cursor. It is the Warden's Cage music roll, and that is where you find it. So if you didn't know that, now you do. Also, if you would like to go and see Maiev, you just have to take a little bit of a swim, because this is the Warden's Cage, and she is the Warden. So you can just come on back here, do a little swim. You can't talk to Maiev, but you can talk to Akama. He says that he is known to many of his people as a traitor, as Illidan's lapdog, and it's best that they continue to think of him like that, for now. Don't worry, when you go to the Black Temple, he will no longer be the traitor Akama. But yeah, we'll say hi to Maiev. Hey Maiev, what's up? You want to come out of here and maybe take on Illidan in the Black Temple? I know a lot of people are desperate to get her up. She just tried to kick me. That's a little rude.
Our walls are impervious.
I don't think she likes being in a cage. You know? Go figure. And I completely forgot what I was going to say, because that is what happens when you start talking and then you get distracted by shiny things. I'm not saying I have the memory of a goldfish, I just might have the memory of a goldfish. Anyway, we're going to move on now that we have gone down and seen Maiev, and I showed you where to get that incredible music scroll. Obviously, I need to work on Onyx's garrison because she just does not have the jukebox yet, so I should probably fix that. Then I can actually collect stuff for her too. Now, this area right here, I don't remember exactly what happens in it other than fighting a lot of ash tongues and their silly little Onyx. But I do know it's also a archaeology site. So, if you needed to know where that was, now you do. If I haven't, like, flown around in so many circles that you can't actually tell where we are. Alright, we're going to go over here to the Altar of Shatar, and then I'm going to be turning this back over to Beryl so that you can see the Scryers area and Thundermar Stronghold. Two absolutely awesome places that I like a lot. I was a little bit disappointed. It had been so long since I had anyone go with the Aldor that I didn't know if there was anything good here. Unfortunately, yet again, no interesting like housing, unless you're in just an empty room as a house. Even the inn that's here doesn't really have much to it. I'm a little sad, especially since I feel like the Aldor Rise in Shadowmoon was actually kind of cool. So I was hoping for more of the same, but no, unfortunately, it's not all that. It does have a really interesting little thing that I'm betting if you have either a demon hunter or maybe a Drakthir, maybe you'd be able to get up here onto this platform, which I think would be a lot of fun. I don't have either of those right now, but, you know, drop me a comment below if you've ever been up on those platforms, because they're kind of fun. Anyway, we're going to turn things over to Beryl and finish this up. Alright, we have gotten Beryl. She is riding her absolutely adorable kitty cat. Love this cat. I did forget to mention, I think it's the altar of shadows is here, and I don't remember exactly where, but it is where you would make shadow cloth if you have a tailor. I don't know that you would need it for any armor, but shadow cloth is needed still in a couple of recipes that makes for some really nice transmogs. So if you were wondering where to get it, hopefully before the end of the video I can remember to get you there. Now we're here in the Netherwing Valley, which is a very pretty place, and it is the location of the Sanctum of the Stars, which is where you will go if you are a scryer. They've got some nice quests for you. Again, aesthetically, it looks like they've kind of knocked everything over. But since it is Blood Elf, at least it's got a little bit more. I keep saying aesthetic, but that's the only thing I can think of. It's just a bit more aesthetically pleasing, I feel, than the Aldor area. Also, it is a questing hub. Now, the Netherwing Drakes are really interesting, and I finally ground out the rep to actually get them all. And it was a ginormous pain in my rear end, but I'm happy I did it. I did it on my half-elf hunter, but as you can see, Beryl has also started doing it, so she is now in disguise, which you get the disguise because you come over here to the Netherwing Ledge, which is where we are headed now. Now, the Netherwing Ledge is where you're going to be farming rep with the Netherwing Drakes, and it's really interesting because you actually take on the form of basically the enemy, and you infiltrate and rise in the ranks with the, I think it's the, are they Bone Chewers or are they Dragon Maw? They're Dragon Maw. Also very interesting because I was just doing the old orc quest at the Ruby Life Pools, and so I kind of wonder if, and now I'm kind of curious if the old orc that you help is actually here at this camp. I cannot actually remember what his name was, which makes me very, very sad. You can do a lot of dailies for these guys, and this guy right here, Yarzil the Merc, he is actually a Netherwing Drake in disguise. So, interesting questing. It gets old after probably the first round that you do of dailies, but then again, don't all dailies get old after a while? But the one thing I do love in this area is the mine under the Netherwing Ledge is so incredibly cool. Plus, there is one daily that's just so much fun where you just chuck boots at the heads of these orcs, and it makes me giggle. So let's see if we can get to the mine and just kind of look around it. It follows the same layout as a lot of the older Burning Crusade and classic mines, the really big ones. But I really, really like it. I'm trying to remember, there is another mine that's laid out about the same, and I don't remember where it is right now. I just know it's got about the same layout. Wow, I really did take the long way around for that, didn't I? Anyway, the Netherwing mines are kind of fun. They are also the place where you can get the Netherwing eggs that you can turn in for a big boost of rep with the Netherwing. So that's always a good thing. And like I said, this mine is huge. And I kind of love it. We aren't going to go through the whole thing because I will get lost. I have unfortunately no longer got this memorized. For a while I did when I was farming rep, but that was last winter, so it's been a hot minute. But all the way in the back, they even have another Netherwing Drake that's just kind of hanging out back there. Or is she an Emerald Drake? I can't remember. But yeah, very cool mine, fun place to hang out. And, you know, grinding rep for the Netherwing it takes a while. They don't call it a grind for nothing, but I feel like it was worth it because I finally have all of my Netherwing Drakes, which just makes me extremely happy because I think despite the fact that they're not a super high-res model, I really like them. In fact, a lot of the Burning Crusade mounts I really like, with, of course, my favorite being the Ashes of Alara, because that one is just one of my #1 favorite mounts in the game. Alright, I think the last thing we're going to do, other than seeing if I can locate the Altar of Shadows, is head out and check out the dwarf base. Well, that actually was pretty darn easy. The Altar of Shadows is just south of the Netherwing Ledge, or just north of the Netherwing Ledge. Let's look at the map. Yep, it is just south of the Sanctum of Stars, just north of the Netherwing Ledge, right here by this giant goo waterfall. It is the one place in all of Warcraft where you can craft the Shadow Cloth. So it is a good thing to know. In fact, I need to actually remember where this is and bring my tailor out here so that she can make a bunch of shadow cloth, because I still do have a lot of recipes that she knows that I would like her to make for me, especially now that we have transmog available and easily available. So I might have to bring her out here. Anyway, the last spot we are headed is right here. It is the Wildhammer Stronghold. As the name implies, it is the home of a boatload of Wildhammer dwarves, and if you know anything about me, I love dwarven architecture. This building itself is not all that great, although if you are hungry and have a lot of friends, it's a good place to hang out and have a party, because they already have your chicken for you. I mean, come on. You don't get much better than that. But again, if you know anything about me, you know that I might not be Azeroth's #1 real estate agent, but finding houses, since Blizzard has not seen fit to give us housing, is one of my passions. And although there is not any technical housing here, this Dwarven Inn right up ahead is a pretty darn good alternative. Also, just like in the Horde area, this is where you can buy a bunch of Griffin mounts. Not really as important these days as it was back in Burning Crusade and Lich King, but still good to know. If you haven't gotten them all, easy spot to get them. Of course, I guess Stormwind is the even easier spot to get them. Now, again, I don't know why the Horde got shortchanged so bad, at least up until Zuldazar came out, but the Horde side really did get shortchanged on amenities. I mean, if you're Alliance, you've got a common room, you got your bearskin rug, you got a place to sit and drink, we've got a bar back here, roaring fire, you got the kitchen all set up nice with yet another roaring fire, and then downstairs, you've got 3 absolutely stunning little rooms with, again, a roaring fire, I do believe, in each and every one of them. I do love this curved fireplace. I can't say that I think that a dwarf bed would be all that comfortable to sleep on, but a dwarf house, I would take it. I really do love the dwarf housing. There's just something cozy about it. And if you don't like that, you could always go sleep in the barracks, which is going to be the last place that we are heading to. Also, check out that sink. That is top tier. I think that's one of the only sinks I've ever actually noticed in this game. That's like, it's very rare that you find a bathtub, but I do know where there's at least 3 or 4 bathtubs in this game, so that just makes me happy as can be. But yeah, this is essentially the same layout as, I think it was Agaz. Good job. I can speak, and I can speak well. We will go over here to Azeroth, go over to Kalimdor, and it was here in the Southern Barrens. Baal Modan. So if you've been in Baal Modan, this is the exact same layout, but still very cool. There's not any enemies to fight here, unless of course you're Horde. Just a really, really neat fortress. You've got tanks down below, you've got a big old common room full of Wildhammer dwarves. I don't know. Like I said, there's something about dwarven architecture that just makes me happy. I am a simple person, and it just makes me happy. Now you can get upstairs, which is where we're gonna head really, really quick, and check out the barracks, if I don't run into every wall in the way. So you can go right over here, check out the airplanes as we go by, and then, just go check out the barracks, see where all the dwarves are hanging out. We got the scouts, they look like they're off duty. Although not too off duty. I thought those were chicken legs that they had there for a minute. And yeah, we got nice little barracks area, bunch of bunk beds for you, got your tools, your muskets, everything that you could possibly need if you're a Wildhammer dwarf or an ally of one. And the airplanes are right here ready to scramble. So yeah, that's going to be about it for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a thumbs up. It does always make me smile and make me decide that I want to keep on doing this. I'll probably keep on doing it even if it doesn't make me smile, because I'm having a lot of fun. Now, next week, we're going to do the last little bit of Outlands, and that last little bit of Outlands is technically in the Eastern Kingdoms, but we are going to go and check out the island, which I can't remember the name of right now because I just completely drew a blank. Anyway, we're going to head back to Shadowmoon. We're going to take a portal and head way up to the Sunwell. That's what it's called. See? if I talk long enough, I actually remember what I'm talking about. So until we head that way, from Beryl and Onyx and me, I will see you next week and have an awesome, awesome day.